Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Doing a little video here today. It's going to be the difference between open deck and temperature controlled, as commonly known as flatbed and reefer. So, little disclaimer. This is just my opinion and my experiences. If you have had different experiences in your life, I would not be surprised. There's no reason to be rude in the comment section to me or anyone else if this is not exactly aligned with how your life has went. Just a little disclaimer. Let's be civil humans to each other, right? There's no reason to get all grumpy and bent out of shape. I don't want to do that to you anyway. I don't want to have that kind of power, you know. But anyway, let's get to it. So I did flatbed. A little bit here, a little bit there. I've done my flatbed experience is I did some flatbed at Averitt Express. I did a couple weeks at Western Express, and I've also done some local boom truck, you know, doing shingles, lifting shingles up on roofs. I did that, and then I've been doing reefer work for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. And that's been mostly OTR. I also did about 6 months at Cisco Foods. That's a little different story. I'll probably do a whole nother thing about food service, but let's talk more about OTR experiences of refrigerated versus flatbed. So I noticed here lately on YouTube, a lot of people are getting into the refrigerated side of trucking. It seems to be all the rage since the pandemic started. And I get it, you know, a lot of types of freight fell off, a lot of venue, concerts, stuff like that. It really fell off during, you know, when everybody was in lockdown. So a lot of people are moving into refrigerated. Now, some of those guys don't have refrigerated experience, and it's one of those things. My advice to people going into reefer is get your Netflix account caught up, make sure it's paid up, and buy yourself a good pillow, because you're going to be sitting around waiting a lot, and getting in a hurry and getting in a rush only works against you, because it's hard on your mind and it's hard on your heart. Sit around, you know, getting cortisol dumps all day because you're all rrr. It's no way to live your life. So that's the key to refrigerated. Patience. You need patience. So here's how it works. Like, I think you're probably going to run a similar amount of miles with flatbed and reefer, because reefer has a lot of waiting times, because very few things in the refrigerated game are first come, first serve. They're mostly hard appointment times, and it's like a doctor's appointment. They want you to be there on time, but they give a damn if they're on time. So it just, you know, that's what it is. And keep that in mind, because you know, like when you're doing flatbed most of the time is daytime work. You know, when you show up, they unload you. You unstrap it, they unload you. And with refrigerated, it typically don't work like that. When you show up, they put you in a staging lot, and they tell you, hey, we'll call you when we're ready for you. So I still think you get an equal, similar kind of miles, and most of the time, the freight pays about the same. Now, flatbed is seasonal, so it'll pay better in the summer and the spring and the fall than it will in the winter, because, you know, not as much construction is going on in the winter. But smart flatbed people can make it work year round. I'm not saying like you're not going to have anything to do. People are still moving shingles in the winter. They're staging stuff. You know, road construction stuff still moves. Steel still moves. Lots of things move. So I'm not saying, you know, flatbed just goes completely dormant, but they typically pay similar because you get a similar amount of miles. You know, it's just how it is. By the time I'm sitting around waiting to get loaded, you know, flatbed people are spending some time strapping down loads, chaining down loads. So to me, it's a similar type of work. It's just, it's kind of like all of trucking. I think of it like this: there is no gimmies in trucking. There is no magic formula in trucking. It's hard work for money. Can we all agree on that? So the way it works in refrigerated is you typically get a lot of multi-stops as well. Now, when I did flatbed, I didn't get as many multi-stops, but I still did a few multi-stops. I used to do a lot of hardy board lower loads when I was flatbed. Those are a lot of times multi-stop, stuff like that. So just keep in mind that if you're going to do refrigerated, you need patience and you need logistics to work those multi-stops. You need to be able to work your logbook really good. You need to be willing to work nights and crazy hours. The load I'm currently on right now has a 5 p.m. delivery tomorrow, and then I drive about 150 miles, and then I have a midnight delivery. And then I drive about 40 miles, and I got a 6 a.m. delivery. So that's going to use up my entire 14-hour clock to make those 3 deliveries. It's not a lot of miles, but it's a lot of, dealing with 3 deliveries, which, 3 grocery warehouses can be trying, So you got to be willing to work those crazy schedules. Flatbed is more daytime work. It's more, construction, unloading, building supply place unloadings, stuff like that. So to me, flatbed's more daytime work, and it's kind of a better schedule as far as if you don't like driving at night or being up all night. Flatbed might be better for you. I don't know, not saying for sure. But another thing I've coined, a term I'm trying to coin here is there's a freight for everyone. You got to figure out which one's the one for you, and it ain't always the one that pays the most. Because let's face it, in trucking, it kind of, at the end of the year, a lot of it pays the same. It just, find what you like best. That way it doesn't seem like you're working as much, For me, flatbed, I'm out of shape. I'm not, I'm not by anybody's standards in shape. I like to joke with my doctor and say round is a shape, but that don't cut it in flatbed because it'll see right through my jokes. If you want some physical activity in your life, flatbed's good for you. If you notice, those flatbed guys are typically a little bit more in shape because they're out there doing stuff. But the trade-off to that is you got to go out there and do stuff in winter sometimes. So there's a trade-off for you. With refrigerated, it's not as much physical labor. It's more about figuring out how to make it work and having the patience to deal with it. Because I see it all the time in these grocery warehouses. The new guys that haven't been doing Reefer, they came to Reefer because, if you're on the company side, refrigerated companies typically pay a little better than dry van companies because you're not getting as many miles. So keep that in mind. Like, if you go to a refrigerated company because they pay a little more, you're not necessarily going to make more at the end of the week. You're probably going to make more per mile, but not overall make more. And to compare that with flatbed, flatbed, you're going to have a lot of accessory pay. Tarping, chaining, stuff like that typically pays. So load securement should pay something, in my opinion. That shouldn't be factored into the mileage rate. That's just my thought, but I wouldn't want to do it for free. I had someone tell me the other day Western Express has gone to a system where they pay you to tarp and then they pay you to untarp. So used to it was one rate to tarp. You didn't get anything to untarp. So if you picked up a load that had already been tarped, you didn't get anything for the untarping. So I hear they break it down now. But get this, the total of tarping and untarping pays less than the total of tarping used to. It used to be $40 to tarp a load. Now it's $12.50. Isn't that crazy? It's $12.50 to tarp it, $12.50 to untarp it. Most loads probably going to take you more than an hour to tarp it. Just unless it's like a little partial load. And a thing too is, if you're going to do flatbed, make sure the company provides you the right type of tarps. that's one of the things that Averitt really did good. Averitt gave you a selection of tarps, different sizes. They give you good equipment to work with. Whereas when I went to Western Express, everything was 8-foot drop lumber tarps. And when you've got a load that's 2 foot high, you know, say you get plated steel that's, you know, 2 foot off your deck, you got a tarp that fits over it and then drops down 8 foot. So you're spending 2 hours out there rolling tarp up and trying to, you know, tuck it and strap it and bungee it. You know, if you want to do flatbed, it's rewarding as well. You know, I always felt good when I did a good tarp job. You know, I look back at it and I'd be like, that's a damn good tarp job. And I'll tell you this, I think, especially on the company side, if you get good at strapping and tarping loads, you can make more money. If you can get fast at it, because the key to flatbed to me is your productivity. See, I was slow to climb up on the trailer. I was slow to climb up on the loads. I'm out of shape. I'm a big guy. I'm not that coordinated. Flatbed, I just think, wasn't for me. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not knocking flatbed by any means. You take a guy that's good at flatbed, you know, companies be clamoring for it. But, you know, it's a little easier to fill a refrigerated position because the guy doesn't work as hard. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to what I was saying about these new guys that haven't done reefer a lot, I see them in these grocery warehouses just raising hell. I've been here for 4 hours, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, ouch. 4 hours ain't even the beginning on some of these places. You know what I mean? I got one place that I pick up from regularly, and they give me a day of layover to just go there, because it's between 12 and 24 hours the time you wait there, because they have to sort and break down loads and make multi-stop loads for you. And it's not a quick process. It takes a full shift sometimes to just sort, you know, a trailer out and figure out what's on it. And boy, I see guys in there just raising hell. I've been here for 15 hours and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I try to tell them, I'm like, hey man, you know, you just got to be patient. You know, like, I tell them, you know, hey, there's a Burger King like a half a mile away. DoorDash some Burger King over if you need to. You know, some of these facilities that take a really long time to unload you and load you as well in refrigerated, you can drop your trailer in their door and they'll let you leave. You know, I was at a pork facility the other day and they made you drop the trailer because their yard guy took it over to the dock for you. And, you know, I mean, I'm seasoned at this. I don't get upset at it. I was there for 13, 14 hours. You know, I took my bobtail and PC'd over to Walmart. I went shopping, got some things I needed from Walmart, and then went over to the truck stop and did some laundry, and then came back and did my 10-hour break, and I was ready to go by the time the load was there. So that's the type of patience you're going to have doing refrigerated. I know a lot of guys they just can't do it. They don't want to do it. You know, it just rips them apart to sit there for 12 hours. And it's like, it's the same amount of money at the end of the week. So to me, that's the way I look at it, is, you know, which I see the point of view of why they get upset, because they could be running their load right now versus having to sit and run it, you know, maybe at night. You know, say you get there in the morning and they make you sit from 6 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Well, you got a 10-hour break in, and to make the load get there on time, you got to go now. And it's, you know, 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and that's the type of day a lot of guys want to shut down. That's not the time of day you want to start your shift. So that's something to keep in mind with refrigerated. Now, as far as flatbed, when I was doing flatbed, most loads were, you know, show up between 7 a.m. and noon. That's basically what most of them were. And then the pickups were the same way. You know, show up between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. You know, be there before 4:30. We close at 5. That type of thing. You know, kind of get there when you want to. I never got a late fee in flatbed. That was a bonus. Refrigerated, Yeah, you show up 2 hours late to a Cisco, and you're probably going to either have to reschedule or you're going to come out of pocket for a couple $100. So I mean, there are some positives of flatbed. But I don't know, guys. If you like this type of series, that's kind of what I got on it. If you like this type of series, hit that thumbs up. I'm going to do more of these. I'm working on, we're going to compare all types because, like I said, I've been in every kind of trucking. I went, I was company driver van. I was company driver flatbed. I was lease purchase van. I was lease purchase flatbed. I did food service for 6 months. I've done UPS seasonal work, pulling doubles and that kind of stuff. And then I've been an owner operator. I've had my own authority. I've done about all you can do in trucking. Local flatbed stuff. I don't know. You name it, I've done it. Pulled containers. So I got perspective on a lot of this. I'm going to do a little series of these, like this type of driving versus this type of driving. So if you like it, hit the thumbs up. Be sure to check out the description down below for my other channel, Trucking with Diabetes. Be sure to check out the description for all my links. And if you want to subscribe, maybe think about subscribing to this channel. I would appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Be careful. Take care of each other. Bye.